Hello guys, welcome to another tutorial video from Edenite Technologies. In today's tutorial, we'll be discussing the basics of Microsoft Word. Microsoft Word is one of the packages inside Microsoft Office. Others include the PowerPoint, the Microsoft Excel, and so on and so forth. But for this video, we'll be looking at Microsoft Word. What is a Microsoft Word? It's a computer program that is used to create and print text documents that usually would have been done with a typewriter in the olden days. So it's more like an advanced form of typewriter, indicates that you can make changes with it, you can correct your spellings, you can delete, you can format and edit your text, and then you can save it for later modification or for printing purposes. So what we are looking at now is what we can call a Microsoft Word screen document, and we are going to be looking at what it is made up, the content, and how to make use of them. Over here where we can see our mouse pointer is what we call the title bar, and this is where the name of the document saved can be found. If we had saved this document, you are going to be seeing the name of the document instead of document 2 as it's written over there. Then now this is the quick access toolbar. Basically what this does is to customize the 3 buttons that can be located at the upper left side of our screen, and over here we have the save, the undo, and the redo button, but we can always change it to any other of these functions that we can see here, either the email, the print preview, the spelling. But by default we always see the save button, the undo, and the redo under our quick access toolbar. Then at the upper right side, we can see the close the document button, the restore down, and then the minimize button. Then coming down from there, this big ribbon we can see here is called the office button, and here we can perform actions such as opening a new document, saving a new document, saving a document as either a Word document or as a template or as any other way you want to save it. We can perform the print action here, and we can also send and publish using our office button. Next up we have the menu bar, and this contains various keys and ribbons such as the home, insert, page layout, references, mailings, review, and view. So we'll be looking at home key for now. We should know that usually when you open your Microsoft Word document, it's by default on the home key. So this is why it appears this way. So coming down from the home key, we can see the paste, the cut, copy, and format painter shortcut. Usually if there's a text on our document, workspace, the buttons would be highlighted, meaning that you can make use of them. But since we don't have any text there, that's why they look dormant. And then this is what we call the dialog box. We have the clipboard under the cut, short, paste, cut, short, and under the cut, paste, and copy shortcut. We have the clipboard, the dialog box for the clipboard. Then we have for the font, we have for the paragraph, and the rest. So when you click on that dialog box, a little box appears showing you the function of that particular thing. So for instance, now we click on the dialog box for the clipboard, which we would see very soon. A drop down menu appears showing you an empty space, that's like the clipboard. And what the clipboard does is when there's a document that we cut or that we want to copy, we usually copy it to the clipboard, and then from there we can paste it. So the clipboard is always like an imaginary place that we secure something, and then we go there to uproot it again when we need it. So this is what it looks like, but usually we don't want it to be in our workspace, so it's just always hidden. Next up, we have the font style, and here we make selections of the kind of font design we want, how we want our font to look like. So whatever style you select, that is how your font looks like. I'm making some selections and showing you how each selection changes the design of the font, as you can see. Next up, we have the font size. Here you can either decrease or increase your font size by selecting. There's a drop down menu that shows you different numbers, that just shows you how your font size can increase or decrease. So you can either manually type in the size you want if there's a specified size that was given to you to work with, or you can just use the drop down arrow and then select whatever size matches you. Next up, we have this other box here that is also for increasing and decreasing the font. So if you don't want to use this number side, you can just tap on the increase font or the decrease font, and then your font just increases or decreases. Next up, we have the bold ribbon. Once highlighted, it makes our work bold. The italics makes our work to appear in italics form, that's the bending form, and then the underline just underlines our work. Besides the underline, there's a drop down arrow too, that from there you can select different styles of underline you want under your text. There's a range of styles there. You can click on it and then select whatever style you want, and then it applies to your text automatically. Up next, we have the strike through ribbon. Once selected, it draws a line across your text or whatever text that you've selected. So that's the function. Next up, we have the superscript and the subscript, which would still get to make use of. Works mainly for numerics, that's for numbers. And then we have the case here. Over here, you can select whatever case you want your work to have, whether you want it to have a sentence case, you want all of them to have lowercase, uppercase, toggle case, just whatever way you want it to appear, you make your selections there. Next up, we have the font color, the fill color, or rather the text highlight color. So what this does is just like how a highlighter pen works, that's how this key function works. So it highlights whatever text you select, and once you click on the ribbon, it highlights that particular text, and then you can make your selections through the drop down arrow, choosing whatever color you want to make use of to highlight your text. Next up is the font color. Here you can make your choice on whatever color you want your font to have, whether red, green. By default, it's always on red. Then you can click on the drop down arrow beside it and select whatever color you want your font to have, and it's automatically applied to your font. Then clicking on our dialog box on that there, we can see a dialog box appears where you can actively edit your font style and design. If you don't want to go through the already mentioned functions above, you can just click on your dialog box, and then this other box appears where you can make your edits. Up next, we have the numbering, the bullets, and then we have the indentations, then we have the alignment, we have the left alignment, the center, the right alignment, and so on and so forth. After that, we have the shading, which is always used to apply few color to the background of whatever you're working with. And then we have the border that is directly next to it, but we are going to show the function of this when we are working with a table. Next up, we have these templates that show us how we want our work to appear. So clicking on any of the designs you see there automatically reflects on your work and then applies the effect down to your work. Then after that, we can see our find and replace keys, which will be finding out the functions later. Up next, we have the insert key. Here we can insert our cover pages. When you click there, there's a drop down of different templates that you can choose from, and you can select whatever one you want to use. We can add our page break, page numbers, tables, header, footer, and word art, and some other functions can be inserted through the insert key. Next up is the page layout. In the page layout, you are able to add your margins or to arrange your page whether in a portrait or in a landscape mode. And then you can also get your page size, whether you want it in A4, A5, B5, A6, and so on and so forth. All those happens in the page layout. Next up, we have the references, which we won't really be looking into because they are actually important, but for the purpose of this video, we don't really need it now. So maybe in a later video, we are going to explain what happens under the reference key. Next up, we have the mailings. Here we can send our documents as mails and all the related functions. We can perform those functions under mailings. Then we have review. Under review, we get to find our word count, our diction, get accurate figures and correct mistakes and whatsoever. And then under our view, we have the print layout, the web layout, and the reading mode, where we can, once clicked on, it shows you a sample of what your document looks like in a print layout, in a web layout, and also in a reading mode. Coming down, we also have the same shortcuts, the print layout shortcut, the full screen, and also the web layout. Then we have our zoom in and zoom out functions. We have our horizontal task pane, where we get to move our documents and view the up part or the lower part using either our mouse or arrow. At the left hand side below, we have our word count and also our page number. Also under view, we can see our ruler, our grid lines, our document map, and the rest. So if you click on it, for instance, you click on your ruler, you can see our ruler appears. In some word processors, once you open your word processor, the ruler is already activated, but just in case it's not, you can find it under your view key, and then you can click on your ruler, and then it brings out the ruler, which is mostly important during paragraphs and creating tabs. That's all for this tutorial. In our next tutorial, we'll be showing you how to make use of these tabs and ribbons and how they work in Microsoft Word. Thank you.